morning. Hi, Errol.
Hello and good morning, you guys. I want to continue on with that communications that you guys were talking about, because you're absolutely right that my relationship with my wife for 29 years is all about the talk, and you've got to have that, don't you?
Gotta have it.
You gotta stop being afraid to initiate the talk. Like, it can't just be one person always saying, "Hey, let's talk about this." Like, because then you're gonna start feeling like, "Well, you don't care as much as I do if I'm always the one that's initiating it."
But Harold, you've been in your marriage for 29 years, so if all of them are successful, which I'll assume they are until we do our own sessions, okay? But if they're all successful, what would you say is the formula for your great communication? 29 years is a long time. I have a hard time liking somebody for 2 weeks. So what's your successful communication formula?
The formula is that I don't say she's my wife. I always introduce her as my best friend. And so you would never do the things to a best friend. And so therefore that's what we talk about, is that, we're still just the greatest friends in the world. And I think friendship, owns the relationship.
I think you're coming from my job. I'm not going to ask you any more questions.
It's so funny because when me and my girls talk, we always say, if your mate could be as kind and considerate to you as your friends are to you, like, when something's wrong and you know what I mean? Like all that, like it'd be the perfect situation.
Yeah. So now for AJ and KJ, 1 week at couples retreat, it's like I watch it because it's going to be raw, but at the same time, don't you want to go back? Because you're learning so much more about each other.
Yes, we would love to go back. We would love to be in season 3 and try.
Wait, they got to say the reason why is because they already said this morning they forgot to still use a lot of the tools that they learned a few months ago. But again, you've been married for 29 years. It takes that kind of maintenance, right? I hate to say work, because work has a negative connotation when it comes to love. But I say, love maintenance, love refreshers, keeping things new, keeping things exciting and spicy, right? Am I right?
Absolutely. As a life coach, so many people want to bury their past. They want to just, it's like, I'm not going back there again. And yet it's such a great learning tool. How do you kind of restructure the mind to say, use it as a tool? Yes, it happened, but use it as a tool.
Well, I think, both people have to want to be in the relationship. Right. And I think that's part of what we uncover with couples retreats. Some of the relationships are older, they're mature marriages, some are new couples. And I think, as people, what I try to do is not so much even pay attention to the coupledom, but pay attention to the independent person and what they want, making sure they know what they want and they're going to get it in that relationship or not. That's why I told them day one. This is not, I'm trying to help you survive this relationship. This is, I'm trying to help you be your best self. And if it's in this relationship, great. If it's not, I'm glad I can help you discover that. Yeah. So I think that's the other part. I told KJ and Claudia, maybe you guys are better as friends. I don't want to get too much away. But I said constantly, why don't you guys just be friends? Good Lord. The roller coaster called this relationship. And
I want to ask KJ, how do you feel about that when she said that? Does that bother you when she said that?
We should be friends?
How do you feel about that? Every time she says it, do you feel like...
No, she's the therapist. She's the one that has the professionalism and the know-how. She's the one that knows what's going on. She's the one that can see the future. And
I know you guys. And I know you.
Maybe we should be friends. How about that? Huh? Maybe she's right.
Hey, Claudia, how important is spirituality in the relationship? It's what I base my foundation on, but is it important for you guys?
I think it is. If you're looking across the table at your partner and you don't see anything there, like spiritually or anything in their heart, like how can you really if that stuff is important to you, then it's got to be there. It's got to be there,
The kindness comes from the spirit.
Yes.
If there's no kindness like your girlfriend, if there's no consideration, to me, that's a spiritual thing. That's the spirit of consideration, the spirit of kindness and gentleness. So, again, if that's not in a person, you have to recognize that. Here we go again. Well, look, this is season 3 already. We're here.
Well,
he knows what my spirit, like my heart is, and the soft spots. Like I want to save every homeless person. I'm always getting rejected by them when I try to feed them. They're like, I don't want that. And he and I just think that sharing that kind of compassion is I think it's important. Mm-hmm. I do.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I love about Couples Retreat on VH1 is the fact that we live vicariously through you. It's about building a relationship, and so I would love to see the research on the viewers on how they've changed their life because you've lived it. And I pray for you that things kind of smooth out. But at the same time, if I didn't see what you guys were going through, I can't learn.
That's true.
And
That's why-
part of that visual, I think one of the things I love about the show and in producing this year I'm so glad VH1 saw the importance of a lot of the visual exercises that I tried to bring even season 1 and more so in season 2. Sometimes lessons help to see the visual as opposed to just talk. So a lot of the exercises and the games we play just to get to certain points and to open up our spiritual eyes to each other, I think everyone watching is going to learn. We had a little bit of it in season 1, season 2. Oh boy, wait till you see every day is a new situation for these guys, and I think it's fun, but it's also educational.
And unlike season 1, we are actually season 1. No one really spoke on each other's relationship except for Ray J. They talk about Ray J and Princess. But in this season, it's like our therapy sessions, our one-on-ones with AJ, our group therapy, but we're also speaking on and chiming in on the other relationships and learning and getting into it as well. Not in a fake drama type of way. It's very real, but we all have opinions about each other's situations, and I think that's interesting part of the show as well.
Well, it's an authentic show. That's the thing about it. And the thing about it is that I like going back to season 1 because I'm a binge watcher. I want to experience it, and it becomes my watch.
Right. I think again another thing that I love is I got more time this season with the men because once again I can't tell a woman what a man thinks unless I'm talking to the man as his sister to go back and say, hey, this is what my brother's telling me. So there's a lot of talk, a lot of deep diving I get to do with the men, of course, with the help of John Sally, which I think helps. But the men were way more talkative this season, which I think is going to be really interesting for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations on this brand new season. You guys have got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You be brilliant today, you three.